The sky above the city is not wrong enough to frighten anyone. It simply never feels entirely right. Clouds hang lower than they should. Light arrives late. At dusk, shadows stretch in ways that suggest the world is listening. People adapt without naming it. They always do. Aladdin grows beneath this sky, learning early that effort does not guarantee reward. His mother speaks often of old customs, old prayers, and old names whose meanings have eroded. One name, Solomon, she says, only when the night grows uneasy, Aladdin drifts. He avoids becoming anything because becoming requires believing the world will answer you. He has never been answered. What no one tells him is that some inheritances do not awaken until the world begins to forget why they exist. The magician arrives without spectacle. His presence is marked not by noise, but by order. Animals quiet when he passes. Dust settles unnaturally fast around his feet. He observes Aladdin before speaking to him, watches how the boy stands, how he hesitates, how he fails small tests without embarrassment. These failures reassure him. He gives Aladdin the ring early in their journey, presenting it as protection against the wild places ahead. The ring is cold when Aladdin slides it on. The sensation passes quickly, leaving only unease. The ring spirit recognizes the bearer instantly. It does not celebrate. It prepares. At the cavern's heart, Aladdin finds the lamp. It is smaller than he expected, unadorned, old enough that its metal has forgotten shine. When he lifts it, the weight surprises him, not because it is heavy, but because it feels deliberate, as if it has been waiting for a particular set of hands. When he returns to the cavern's mouth, the magician is already calling down to him. His voice is controlled, urgent but restrained. He does not ask if Aladdin is safe. He asks if Aladdin has the lamp. Set it on the stone, the magician says. Do not touch it further. Something in the phrasing gives Aladdin pause. For the first time, the magician sounds uncertain, not afraid, but eager in a way that feels practiced. He speaks of danger, of forces that must not be disturbed, of knowledge Aladdin could not possibly understand. Aladdin looks at the lamp in his hands. The cavern does not react. The ring does not warm, but the silence feels listening. Aladdin hesitates. I thought you said it was treasure, he says. Why can't I keep it until we leave? The magician answers too quickly. Because some power, Aladdin realizes, is not meant to be shared. The magician's tone hardens, not with anger, but with resolve. He tells Aladdin the truth, or something shaped like it, that the lamp is dangerous, that it obeys rules Aladdin would break simply by existing, that it must be handled by someone trained. He does not say worthy. He says prepared. Aladdin feels something unfamiliar then, not wisdom, but instinctive refusal. The lamp is not calling to him, but neither is it rejecting him. For the first time in his life, something powerful has not pushed him away. He steps back. That is when the cavern seals. Not violently, not suddenly. Stone slides into place with the patience of something that has done this before. The magician does not shout. He does not gloat. This was always the risk, he says calmly, through narrowing stone. If you survive, it will be because the ring was stronger than I expected. Then the earth closes. Aladdin does not mean to wake the lamp. 4 days after his escape, it sits where he left it, unremarkable, dull, refusing even the dignity of curiosity. He avoids it at first. then begins to forget it, which unsettles him more. Powerful things, he has learned, usually demand attention. One evening, as the light in the room thins and stretches wrong along the walls, he notices something new. A mark. It is faint at first, as if seen through heat or breath on glass. A circular seal pressed into the lamp's metal. Too precise to be wear, too deliberate to be decoration. Aladdin is certain it was not there before. When he looks away and back again, it sharpens, lines resolving into a symbol that feels older than language. The air grows still. The seal does not glow. It does not pulse. It simply waits. Aladdin reaches out without deciding to. When his thumb brushes the seal, it warms, not with heat, but with recognition. The sensation is unsettling, intimate, like being identified. Instinctively, he rubs it, once, uncertainly, as if testing whether the mark is real. The seal vanishes. The lamp exhales. The spirit within does not burst forth. It unfolds, slow and vast, filling the space not with light, but with presence. The room seems smaller afterward, as if something has stepped closer to the world. The spirit does not greet Aladdin. It does not thank him. It speaks as if continuing a sentence begun long ago. And in that moment, Aladdin understands. The lamp was never waiting to be found. It was waiting to be recognized. The magician returns not in secret, but in daylight. He comes to the city openly, to the edge of the palace grounds where stone has been rebuilt too quickly to remember itself. This place, new walls laid over old foundations, has become thin. The air here carries echoes. It is close enough to power to test, but far enough to deny comfort. The magician chooses this place deliberately. He knows the lamp will hear him here. He does not plead. He does not threaten. He recites, names spoken only once every generation, commands etched into memory rather than stone. Fragments of King Solomon's bindings, precise, flawless, correct. Nothing answers. The silence is not empty. It is evaluating. The magician steps closer, lifting his hands not in surrender, but in demonstration. He explains to the lamp, to Aladdin, to himself, that authority can be transferred. Blood fades. Knowledge endures. What Solomon built, he insists, was meant to be understood, not inherited blindly. That is when the rejection becomes complete. The ring does not glow. The lamp does not stir. The spirits do not dispute his words because his words are not the problem. He lacks restraint. Solomon's power was never bound to intelligence alone. It required a bearer capable of hesitation, someone who would pause before command, who would doubt his own right to speak. The magician has never hesitated. The ring's spirit acts one final time, not to protect Aladdin, but to prevent the magician from forcing a claim that would fracture the old order. It does not punish him. It removes something quieter and more devastating. The magician's voice still carries the names, but the names no longer hear him. He leaves the city unchanged in form, yet emptied of claim, alive, learned, and forever unheard by the powers he chased. Aladdin does not become ruler through conquest or spectacle. After the magician's rejection, the city enters a period of quiet uncertainty. The previous ruler, never named in the histories that follow, falters, not from illness or rebellion, but from erosion. Decisions stall. Advisors argue. Small failures accumulate until authority feels hollow. The lamp responds during this time, not with miracles, but with corrections. A famine is averted before it begins. A flood is redirected without ceremony. A dispute ends because one side suddenly understands the cost of continuing. People begin to notice that stability follows Aladdin like a shadow. They seek him out, not because he commands them, but because the world seems to settle when he is present. When the transfer of rule finally occurs, it feels less like a coronation and more like recognition of something that has already happened. Power has arranged itself around him. The ring does not intervene. It has not intervened since the magician's fall. At first, Aladdin believes the ring is exhausted or broken. He twists it in moments of doubt, in moments of fear. Nothing answers. The silence is complete. Only later does he understand. The ring was never meant to rule. It existed to preserve the bearer until the lamp could be claimed safely, to prevent premature death, to block violations of the old order, to act only when imbalance threatened destruction. That work is finished. The ring stops responding because Aladdin no longer needs protection. He has crossed the threshold it was designed to guard. The lamp, however, continues to answer. Slower now, more selectively. It responds because its binding is different. The lamp was created to execute authority, to reshape the world according to command, but only while a recognized bearer remains capable of restraint. Aladdin still hesitates. He weighs each command. He delays. He doubts. And because he doubts, the lamp listens. The cost is subtle. Each act of rule makes Aladdin slightly less ordinary. Each correction distances him further from the boy who once drifted beneath a low sky. He feels the absence of the ring most strongly, not in danger, but in loneliness. Protection has ended. Responsibility has not. Aladdin sets the ring aside, not as an offering, but as an acknowledgement. Some instruments exist only to guide you to the edge of what you are meant to become. The lamp remains. The city prospers. The sky does not fall. But it stays close enough to remind him that authority is never owned, only held, and only for as long as one remembers why it was divided in the first place.